Alright boys, man, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, we're going to be talking about the 3 things that you need to master yourself. Now, remember I told you we will be talking about outwitting the devil. That last video had something to do with outwitting the devil. And now, we're going to go more in depth, about to what we learned. Because I know y'all like these book chapters, like when we talk about the books on the YouTube channel, to like master ourselves and always make the best version of ourselves. So, the number one key to master yourself is we're going to talk about drifting with the devil. Now, as we know in the book that we read, we know that the devil controls 98% of the minds, right? And the reason why he controls 98% of the minds because we're always doing things that we don't want to do. We're drifting. Like I said, we're using, we have fear, right? Fear of death. We're always fearful of something. We got the news that's also fearful. And it promotes fearness. Now, last video we talked about how to be fearless. We want to be fearless, bro. We don't want to be fearful of things. So we got to stop drifting, because 9 times out of 10 on a regular basis, you probably sitting there wasting time, and that's probably your issue. So stop wasting time. So, anyways, we're just talking about drifting. We got to just start being aware of our time and be aware of what we do, because time is our biggest asset. You would think money would have been our biggest asset, but it's really time. Because money, it could come and go. But time, it never comes back. So you have to be mindful of the things you do. Because otherwise, if you're not aware of your time, 9 times out of 10, you're drifting. And you have no idea. You're probably drifting right now, 9 times out of 10, bro. Because you're not focusing on the tasks that you need to take care of. You're not paying no attention. So to avoid drifting, be aware of your time. And the best way I can say to be aware of your time is set a military time. Have a clock of things that you're going to do throughout the day. So you got an alarm clock for this, alarm clock for that. You're aware of time. Now, there is no where did these other hours go? Because I'm sure this has happened to you where you like, where the fuck all my hours go? Like, you're like, where did all this time go? I was just doing this and I was doing that. But little do you know, you had that time on your phone. You was bullshitting. And guess what? That shit adds up. So next thing you know, you end up wasting 5 hours of time on some shit, bro. So you got to be aware of that. Like, stop wasting your time, bro. So that's the main one. And like I said, that's the number one way I would say to avoid wasting time. Just be mindful of it so you don't drift. And now next thing you know, you bullshitting. And all this time go by, you're like, what the fuck? Right? All right, so now we're going to be talking about the confession. The confession with the actual devil in itself. Now, somehow Napoleon ended up tapping in with the devil. Now, the reason why this book didn't get released, because it took 100 years to actually release this book, because they were scared that something was going to happen to him. Now, whether you believe it or not, I don't know if I fully believe that you can actually talk to him, but basically he tapped in with some type of energy, I guess, to talk to him, right? And he ends up telling the confessions about drifting and, on how to avoid the drifting, right? We are, and yes, I already told you how to avoid the drifting. You just be aware of your time, so stop bullshitting, He had a confession with him, and now, that's when he found out, like, okay, the devil told me this, let me do the opposite of what he's telling me. So, the devil basically said, in order to avoid drifting, you need to have definiteness of purpose. What is definiteness of purpose? Basically, you're having a purpose on what you're doing. See, that's an old term back in, like, a long time ago. But, basically it just means focus on your purpose of, like, what you're doing. Have a purpose. If you don't have no purpose, then you will be controlled. You get what I'm saying? So if you don't have a purpose, you will get controlled. Like, you either conquer yourself or you're going to end up being conquered by self. Now, what do we mean? Listen, one thing about this book that they do say, and I'm pretty sure you heard this saying before, that we are all one. We're all one. We're actually all spiritually connected. You get what I'm saying? There is no one that's outside us. Everything and everywhere is God. What is awareness? God. You know what I mean? Consciousness, God. Consciousness and everything. Consciousness is everywhere. You just have to become aware of it. So understand that God is everything and He's everywhere. Understand when you're breathing in and out, you're breathing in consciousness. You're like, what is that you're breathing? That is God. Understand that. So understand that it's everything. And I'm not saying I don't believe in no other religion. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying everything and everywhere is God. And that's what the book is basically saying, So you want to move with definiteness of purpose. All right. Because if you don't move deadness of purpose, you will be conquered by self. And that leads to my next thing. You get what I'm saying? That's what I mean by you'll be conquered by self. So you conquer yourself first, because I almost forgot what I was saying. First, conquer yourself. And once you conquer yourself and take full control, full responsibility, full action, full, you know what I'm saying? You going at it full in. You a football player. You running straight through. You get what I'm saying? You're not stopping, bro. Life gonna try to hit you, but you gotta keep on running. You feel me? You gotta stay motivated, because I know you've seen that DEG clip. You know, it's that downtime, and then guess what? You shoot up, and now look. You get what I'm saying? The dip is always smaller than the rise. So be prepared for them dips, but go ahead and full forward and take full control, full responsibility, and you have the best life, and you'll monetize your life. And chapter 6. Now we sit there, we talk about hypnotic rhythm. This is the part I couldn't wait to get into. What is hypnotic rhythm? Hypnotic rhythm is something that you do over and over again. No matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, you never give up. That's what hypnotic rhythm. You're actually doing hypnotic rhythm every single day. You have hypnotic rhythm. 9 times out of 10, even if you have a life that you don't want to live, you're still doing hypnotic rhythm. That's why you might as well just live the fucking life you want to live. Because at the end of the day, you got to do a hypnotic rhythm of something. I'll give you an example. Every day when you go out, every day when you wake up, or you might not even sleep naked, you might have underwear on, but you got a hypnotic rhythm of brushing your teeth. You got a hypnotic rhythm of putting on your clothes. You got a hypnotic rhythm of putting on your shoes. It's basically doing something over and over, day in and day out, and never giving up. So if you're trying to be successful, guess what? It might take 1 year, it might take a couple of months, it might take 6 months, you know what I'm saying? It might take 10 years, right? But guess what? You have to do it over and over. Hypnotic rhythm, it doesn't have a set due date to when something's going to happen, you know? Like, it might take 9 months for a girl to have a kid, you get what I'm saying? But an animal might take, I don't know, sometimes years. It all depends on the person. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay going. You got to stay motivated. You got to stay disciplined. And that's really what hypnotic rhythm is. It's consistency. It's discipline. And once you're able to do that and have hypnotic rhythm on the thing, you have no motherfucking choice but to succeed, because guess what? You kept on going. I've been doing YouTube for like 5-6 years, but you just never give up on whatever you're doing. That's why I maybe don't put my all into what I'm doing, but like I genuinely enjoy talking to the camera. Like I look forward to doing this shit. You get what I'm saying? So that's really what hypnotic rhythm is. Like it's just doing something over and over again and never stopping. So the best way you can outwit the devil is to keep on moving and move with definiteness of purpose, hypnotic rhythm, and you have to be fearless. These are like the 3 main ways, because the devil is going to throw his challenges in your way, but you got to move past it. You got to stay consistent, because guess what? If you don't stay consistent, you basically gave the enemy. You gave the enemy territory to win. You can't get an enemy territory to win. So if you move with hypnotic rhythm and you stay doing something over and over, you're going to get better. You're going to be improving. You're going to be getting to the next level. Because guess what? You chose to move with definiteness of purposeness. You chose to stay consistent. You chose to have hypnotic rhythm. You chose not to give up. And that's basically why you see a lot of people tell you, bro, never give up. Keep on going. Because that's the most important thing. Because what is giving up going to do? Explain to me, what is giving up going to do for you? How is this going to help you? How is giving up going to get you to the next level? Huh? I'm listening. I'm waiting. Because you know it doesn't get you nowhere. So make sure you always staying consistent, because you're going to get better. You're going to improve. You're going to be a better version of yourself. It really, to add on to that is like, it's a mental shift. Really, you shifting throughout that time. No matter what you do, when you do something over and over, you're going to always get better at it. 9 times out of 10. The only way you're not going to be getting better at it is if you genuinely just, I ain't even going to lie. It's if you really give up. You know you're going to fail if you give up. You know you are. So why would you give up in the first place? You know you're going to, like, bro, you already know. So I don't even think I really even got to do too much talking. You already know that you ain't going to get what you want when you give up. But if you keep that shit going, you stay consistent, you stay focused, you move with definiteness and purposeness, you don't have fear, you have confidence, you have faith. These are the things that's what's going to bring you to the next level. Faith. Right? And last but not least, for the last example about faith. That's like you asking God for a thing, right? Let's say you prayed for $1 million, right? And he ships it out to you immediately. He gonna ship it off to Faith Street, right? He's shipping it off to Faith Street. But as long as you stay on Faith Street, you're going to get that package. Whether it take, like I said, 6 months, a year, 5 years, 10 years, whether it takes that long. But as long as you stay on Faith Street, you're going to get it. You don't move to Doubt Street. You know what I'm saying? Doubt Street is basically, that's not where the package is going. The reason why you didn't get what you asked for is because you went to Doubt Street. You went on another street. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You went to Fear Avenue. You get what I'm saying? Stop going to these different avenues. Stay on Faith Street. Faith Street is where it's at. And that's how you get what you want. If you go to any other street, the package get there, but guess what? Since you wasn't there to get the package, they have to return it. They have to return it back to where God got it. And now you don't even get what you want because you chose not to stay on Faith Street. So have faith, never give up, stay confident, stay motivated, move with deadliness or purposeness, have hypnotic rhythm, and be fearless. And 9 times out of 10, you will outwit the devil. You will stay consistent. You will get to the next level. So if you learned anything in this YouTube video, let me know what y'all boys think down in the comments down below. I'm going to catch y'all next video. Peace.